Hi everyone, Jamie Madison here. Welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be making this beautiful card with the Simon Says Stamp June card kit. This stamp set is called Leafy Frames and it's just beautiful. I just love these beautiful little frames that you can just put on any card. I particularly like the circle one. The circle one really popped out for me and I just had this cutest little idea for this little card. So to get started with the stamping, I'm using my Tim Holtz stamping platform, and I'm using the Canson XL watercolor paper because we're going to be doing just a tad bit of watercoloring today. I promise I will keep it easy for you guys so anyone can replicate this beautiful card. So I'm using my VersaFine ink. This ink is a very wet ink. It doesn't dry very fast, so just be very cautious when you're using it, but I'm going to show you how to get around that. So I stamped it twice with my VersaFine, and then I'm going in with some clear embossing powder right off the bat. You don't want to wait too long. You want that ink to be still really wet, which is why I stamped it twice. I'm going to use a piece of vellum, and that gets rid of that embossing powder really easily. If you want to use coffee filters or a extra little container, whatever you have works, but I've just been using vellum lately because hardly anything sticks to vellum, so it just works well for me. So I went ahead and heat embossed that until it was smooth and melted, and then I'm showing you my new palette. This is the Magello Mission Gold palette. I am so excited with this watercolor palette. These colors are so pigmented and so beautiful. They blow me away every time I use them. You just put a tad bit of water and boom, you have beautiful color. So very happy with this watercolor palette, and I can't wait to get more experience doing watercolor. But I kept this pretty easy because I am still learning myself. So I just went in with a beautiful pink color and I just went around the edges. I wanted to actually have some white left on these flowers, and surprisingly, I ended up leaving some white on the flowers. I usually overblend and oversaturate, so it's very hard for me to actually do more of a piecier watercoloring. I don't know why. I always have to be that child in coloring class that has to fill in the entire page. I can't just leave any white. So I actually left some white on my flowers, so I'm very happy with the way this turned out. So I'm going to go ahead and put on a little bit of music. It's not that long of watercoloring. I only did the medallion, circle, flowers, and leaves. So I just figured I'd let you guys just tune back and listen to it just for a few seconds, and I'll see you guys in a minute. All right, so I hope that wasn't too long. I hope that was enjoyable, and I hope you guys were actually able to see what I was doing. So for the background, I went in with another piece of my Canson XL watercolor paper, and I just saturated it, not overly though. You just want to have a light shine to it, not too heavy. Then I went in with the same colors that I used for my leaves, because I used two different colors. One's a green and one's more of like a tealish blue, because I wanted my background to match the flowers. I wanted to kind of pull it together, and I really didn't have any paper stock that had these kinds of colors in it. So I figured I'd just make my own, and I love being able to use watercolor in multiple ways, so you get more uses out of your set. You don't have to do your background. You can pick any color that you want. You could even do white if you'd like. You don't have to do a watercolor piece or a pattern paper piece. So for this, I went ahead and picked out some pattern paper that I liked. I don't end up using that top one. It was just an option for me. Went ahead and cut a little piece of my pink paper that came in our card kit, and I cut out some of the rosy flowers pattern paper. I also got the other pattern paper from last month's kit. It was for May's kit, and this had just a little couple polka dots on it, and I figured that would be really pretty with these colors and just blending all of these together. So I went ahead and used my ATG tape runner. You can use glue, tape, whatever you'd like. I do recommend probably using tape though. Sometimes when you use watercolor, your paper has already been a little bit warped, and you really don't want that to transfer on to the pattern paper, because the pattern paper is usually pretty thin and you don't want to take a chance on it rippling on you. So after I went ahead and adhered that down with my tape, I'm going to make my little ribbon and tape that down as well. The only thing I'm going to be popping up with some double foam tape is my flowered medallion, and then I'm going to do a sentiment to go in the center of it. So I'm going to go ahead and take my double-sided foam tape. This is my roll from last year. I'm still on the same roll. I have not even opened my biggie roll yet. So this tape lasts forever. I keep thinking, oh, this is going to be it. This is going to be it. And nope, it just keeps going. So I went ahead and picked out the sentiment, "You are always in my heart." And I stamped that down with some VersaFine. And I'm going to do the same thing I did with our flowers. I'm going to heat emboss that with some clear embossing powder, so that is ready to go. I didn't have to do that, but I just wanted everything to, look the same, because that black embossing that we did in the beginning with the clear, you can kind of see a shine on it. So I wanted everything just to blend. Just kind of gives like a finished touch to me. So I went ahead and heat embossed that, and then I took a circle that matches perfectly with the circle in the middle of my flowers. I went ahead and die cut that out, and I'm going to tape that down with my ATG tape runner again. So after that, this card is very, very close to being done. I'm going to go ahead and adhere that on a A2 white top folding card base. This is from Michaels. It is the 110-pound white cardstock. And then I went ahead and got out my gems. The gems that I'm going to be using for this card are from Studio Katia, and they are the April crystals. So I just want to let you guys know why I had you here. Why I have not been on for a little bit is because me and the husband recently bought a new camper, and we went on a long camping trip just to get out into the great outdoors and enjoy nature. So I wasn't disappearing. I was just out enjoying the beautiful nature outdoors with the husband and the 3 dogs. It was so enjoyable and so well worth it, and we can't wait to go back again. So getting back to the card, I'm going to go ahead and take some washi tape and tape down my edges so I can do some stamping. For the inside, I went ahead and picked out just a couple more things from the stamp set. I wanted to use as much as I could with this stamp set. So I picked out sending, and then I picked out a tiny little sentiment that came in it, which is you, joy, and love. So it's going to say sending you joy and love. And then I picked out the leaves and this little, I guess it's a little flower buds. I'm not quite sure what it is. Kind of reminds me of something that would be in the middle of a flower, you know, where all the pollen is. So I went ahead and stamped that down with my VersaFine as well. I'm not going to heat emboss this because it's on my card base. This absorbs in the paper, and I always have very good luck of it not smearing on me. So I just stamped a whole bunch of the little pollen flowers and the leaves all on the bottom of my card here. A little trick that I did learn when stamping is if you want a little bit of a background to your stamp, just use the leftover ink on your stamp, and that will kind of fill in some of the blank space with the stamp. So I did that with the pollen flower, and I also just did it with the leaves right there because there was a little bit of a white space. So it kind of makes a gray ink instead of a black ink. Works perfect for filling in backgrounds. Went ahead and added my stamp to the back, and this card is complete. Here are the 2 cards that I made with this stamp set. They are just so pretty. I just love the way that these came together. I hope you guys do too. And I want to thank you guys so much for joining me today, and have a beautiful and wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you guys soon. Bye!